On News 3 New Mexico, researchers say contact tracing reduced COVID-19 cases in the U.S. by an estimated 21%.
Is it going to stay warm this weekend? Find out in my full weather forecast.
And President Joe Biden is visiting Poland today. It's his last stop on his European trip to meet with allies about Russia's war in Ukraine. That and more on News 3 New Mexico right now.
This is News 3 New Mexico, your local source for news, sports, and first weather.
Good evening, this is News 3 New Mexico. I am Olayinka, Sodunke.
And I'm Aidan Carcia. Officials are assessing the area of Bandelier National Monument in northern New Mexico where an Illinois woman was killed when struck by a falling rock while climbing a ladder to reach a canyon alcove. Monument officials say 54-year-old Brenda Holzer of Yorkville was fatally injured Wednesday while climbing the second of 4 ladders to reach the alcove house. A Bandelier spokesperson said there was no evidence the falling rock was caused by another person and that the alcove house hadn't experienced a similar incident in recent history. The spokesperson said officials were assessing and investigating the entire alcove house area. And in other news, the upcoming closure of one of the few remaining coal-fire-powered plants in the southwestern U.S. has generated a feud over financing and customer electricity rates. Environmentalists and consumer advocates argue in regulatory filings made this week that Public Service Company New Mexico plans to continue collecting from the customers and the costs of running the San Juan generating station after it closes. That could amount as much as $125 million. Utility officials on Friday denied any plans to double dip, and they said that whatever is collected will be used as credit when rates are reconsidered next year as a part of a lengthy process before the State Public Regulation Commission.
Now, a member of New Mexico's congressional declaration announced today that Kirtland Air Force Base in Albuquerque will be the new location for training pilots and other crew members to operate a type of large attack planes flown by the Air Force Special Operations Command. Senator Martin Henrik said that the establishment of the AC-130J training mission at Kirtland will involve up to 372 full-time Air Force personnel, plus additional contact and maintenance support jobs. Henrik's statement said 7 AC-130JS will be assigned to Kirtland for the training mission, which reports said is part of a relocation from Alberts Field and Air Force installment in Florida. A pollution survey using sensors on small airplanes to detect methane emission across a major U.S. oil and gas production zone points to higher rates of waste and pollution than previously estimated. Released Wednesday, the study estimated that methane emissions are equivalent to roughly 9% of the overall gas production in the surveyed area. That's more than double the rate in several previous studies of the Permian Basin and national estimate by the U.S. government. The study arrives during a pivot period for efforts by government regulators and industries to measure and rein in greenhouse gas emissions from oil-field infrastructure. Now, Payton, what's the weather looking like right now? It seems warm and all of that today.
So it's going to be getting warmer, right? I'm hoping.
It's supposed to stay a little bit warm, Olayinka. I'm sure you're going to be happy here.
Yes.
Let's go check it out on my first weather.
Okay.
All right, how's it going, weather fam? So, as you can see, most of the state is enjoying warm but not too hot temperatures right now. We got up north, we got 73 in Farmington, nice and comfortable. 71 in Gallup, also nice and comfortable. Up north, it's been pretty warm, or pretty cold rather, so this is a nice change of pace. 64 in Raton, 60 in Clayton. When you talk about the north, things are feeling pretty good. Let's check the satellite and radar. Now, it's pretty dormant, pretty quiet. No news is good news, what I like to say a lot of the times. Not a whole lot going on up here. Not too bad. A little bit of cloud cover, maybe some showers here and there, but it's pretty warm, so it won't be too bad out there. Let's take a look at those wind speeds for you. Now, as you can see, earlier this week, things were pretty bad, but now, not so bad. Let's speed it up for the rest of our weekend. Saturday, there's a little bit of wind up north, northeast, but nothing unbearable, I would say. Just a nice breeze. Eastern New Mexico won't be too bad. Check it out there. Sunday at 11:30, same story, a little bit of breeze across, about 40% of the state will go up here and look. It's not too bad. So speed it up one more time. And it starts to pick up as you start your week off next week. But, you know, I don't think it'll reach the speeds that we did this week. Let's take it back to Olayinka and Aidan at the desk.
Thank you. New Mexico Early Childhood Education and Care Department, ECECD, Secretary Elizabeth Krakinski, and other staff from the agency's leadership team visited Portales and Clovis earlier today, meeting with early childhood educators, child care providers, home visiting professionals, parents, elected officials, and other community members. During the committee visits, Krakinski and members of the ECECD leadership team will host roundtable discussions to learn how the agency can further support the diverse educational, developmental, health, and nutritional needs of young children in every region of the state. EECD leadership will visit more than 20 communities across the state over the next few months to hear directly from early childhood stakeholders. These are some of the upcoming cities that will be visited along with the dates. For more information, please visit nmeced.org.
Now, the Biden administration has filed a third lawsuit in Texas over voting rights. The latest challenge, announced Thursday, is over newly drawn county precincts in the tourist hub of Galveston. The Justice Department says the changes discriminate against minority voters by eliminating the only precinct where Black and Hispanic residents were in a majority. New maps approved by the county's governing board last year made white voters the majority in all precincts. The department is also suing Texas over new predictions maps and new voting restrictions passed last year by the Republican-controlled legislature.
Studies say drinking coffee may do your heart good. According to research published Thursday, having 2 or 3 cups of coffee per day appears to lower a person's chance of falling victim to heart disease and heart failure. The findings were based on data from UK Biobank, which included information on more than 500,000 people during a 10-year period. Researchers say they're not sure if caffeine is the main factor for the apparent health benefits, saying that there are numerous other compounds in coffee that could play a role.
Well, that is all the news we have for you right now. Be sure to tune back in after the break for full weather with Payton.
But first, here's a look at today's financial market.
Welcome back. Let's get a look at those temperatures one more time. So, like I was saying, things are feeling pretty comfortable up north and across the majority of the state here. You know, Santa Fe at 68, I feel like that's pretty good over there. 72 in Albuquerque, 75 in Socorro. Of course, the more south you're going to go, the hotter things you're going to get. Let's look at Las Cruces at 81, and let's look at eastern New Mexico. 77 in Portales, 76 in Clovis, 74 in Santa Rosa right there. And like I said, they always have to be different. Roswell at 83, 81 in Hobbs. Let's look at the future radar one more time. Not a whole lot going on, not a whole lot forecasted for your weekend, so it's probably going to be pretty quiet. Might be a nice time to have a grill with the family. Let's look at eastern New Mexico. Not a whole lot going on there too. You know, it might be a nice time to, you know, go outside and enjoy life outside again. It's been pretty cold, so it'll be pretty nice out there. Let's look at tonight's lows, though. This is where the story changes. 34 in Gallup, 39 in Farmington, 40 in Santa Fe. Chilly, but not as cold as it has been. Let's look at eastern New Mexico. 44 in Portales, 48 in Tucumcari, 47 in Santa Rosa. You know, I think even though it's still pretty cold, it's starting to warm up quite a bit for us over here. Let's look at tomorrow's highs one more time. 79 in Farmington, 76 in Gallup. You know, the western part of the state, things are starting to warm up quite a bit. Up north, too, things are getting warm. Let's look at our little slice of heaven again. 83 in Santa Rosa, 84 in Portales, 83 in Clovis, 88 in Roswell, different from everybody else over here, of course, and 84 in Tucumcari. I might have already covered that, not too sure, but let's look at your 7-day forecast. We got 87 in Carlsbad, 91 on Sunday in Carlsbad. Wow, it's going to be really warm down there. 58 Monday night, that really stands out to me too. Tuesday it's going to be windy and the temperatures start to dip a little bit after that, but it won't be too uncomfortable for you next week. Let's take a look at Roswell. 88, 90 for 2 days on the map. 55 degrees at night. You're going to want to sleep with the air conditioner on there. Tuesday it's going to be nice and windy too. It looks like it's going to be windy across the whole map for us that day. Tucumcari and the rest of Quay County, 84 on Saturday, 88 on Sunday, 56 Monday night as well. Things are starting to get back to normal. We're getting back to summer temperatures now. And home of Eastern New Mexico, Portales. We got 87 on Sunday, 84 on Saturday, 55 that Monday night. Looks like things are going to be really warm for everybody across the map. And Tuesday, like I said, for the rest of us, it's going to be pretty windy.
Yes, I am excited about this. Looking at the 80s coming on this weekend, yeah, that is interesting. I think I can go out and have fun.
I think 80 is the perfect temperature. Once it goes to 90, that's a little too hot for me.
Yes.
70, it's a little chilly. I can manage it, but 80 is just right the sweet spot, you know.
Yeah, 80 with the nice little breeze going, it won't be too bad.
Yes,
It'll
yes.
be wonderful.
Definitely. I think I love the weather right now. We'll be back after this break. Do stay with us. Medicine works, according to a new study just published. Researchers estimate contact tracing reduced COVID-19 cases in the U.S. by an estimated 21% in the last 2020 as vaccines were first becoming available. The study was published in a medical journal, German Network Open, and used hospitalization data and estimates to predict contact tracing prevented more than 1 million COVID-19 cases and up to about 33,000 hospitalizations over the course of just 2 months.
President Joe Biden is visiting Poland today. It's his last stop on his European trip to meet with allies about Russia's war in Ukraine. Refugees are today's focus. The White House says Biden's meeting the European Commission president in Brussels to show support for U.S. allies. Then it's on to Poland and a city near the Ukrainian border. He'll talk with the country's president about the humanitarian crisis Russia's war is causing in the Ukraine. The United Nations say some 2 million Ukrainians have fled to Poland, and Biden says the U.S. will take in 100,000 refugees. The president will also visit U.S. troops stationed in Poland today as well.
Now, a senior U.S. defense official says Russia's military advance on Ukraine's capital of Kyiv appears to have altered as it turns its focus to fighting elsewhere in the country. The official, speaking on the condition of anonymity to describe an internal U.S. military assessment of the war, said that Russia appears to be concentrating more on fighting for control of Ukraine's eastern Donbas region rather than its ground offensive aimed at capturing Kyiv, at least for now. The Kremlin seems to confirm the shift Friday. Colonel General Sergei Rusko, deputy chief of the Russian General Staff, said that main objective of the first stage of the operation, reducing Ukraine's fighting capacity, has generally been accomplished, allowing Russian forces to focus on the main goal, liberation of Donbas. Now, that is all the news we have for you right now.
But be sure to come back after the break for sports with Andres Chavez.
Good evening, sports fans. I'm Andres Chavez, and I'm back with more news, scores, and upcoming games throughout the sports world, starting with the NFL. Firefighters have extinguished a fire ablaze that torched several rows of seats and a suite area at Denver Broncos Stadium. The fire broke out on the 4th level in Power Field at Mile High on Thursday afternoon and spread to the 3rd level, where it burned at least 6 rows of seats in the 2 sections. Firefighters quickly brought the blaze under control, but were trying to determine if it had spread to the other areas of the stadium, which seats more than 76,000 people. No injuries were reported, and investigators have not said what caused the fire. The team is still under a bidding war for new ownership, with the deal expected to reach $4 billion, setting a new record sale price for a sports franchise in the United States. Moving to NMAA, spring is starting up, and with that is also baseball and softball, who are nearly a month into regular season play. Now let's take a look at tonight's doubleheaders across the state, starting with softball. The first match we'll look at is Alamogordo and Mayfield. In this 5A doubleheader, the number 7 Tigers face off with the number 3 Trojans. Alamogordo goes south after previously losing 2 of their 3 matches to Centennial. They do have the momentum in this matchup after beating the Trojans in extra innings on Tuesday. The Trojans won all 3 of their games against Gadsden, but are looking to come back from their crushing loss earlier this week. District play is starting strong and looking to be a tight race till the end of April. The next match to look out for is Gadsden and Denton. The number 18 ranked Wildcats will face off against the Panthers. The Wildcats come into tonight riding a 4-game winning streak and look to carry that through the doubleheader tonight. After starting the season 5-1, the Panthers are in a bit of a slump, losing their last 6 matchups. Both doubleheaders have already entered the first game, but their second games will start at 7 p.m. if you're in the area. Moving to baseball, we got another set of great matches, starting with New Mexico Military Institute and Santa Rosa. The 8th-ranked Colts enter Game 2 of their Sertoma Colt Classic tournament, previously defeating Tularosa in a 9-0 shutout. As for the Lions, they go into the second round defeating Hatch Valley 18-8. Let's see if the Tigers can end the Colts' undefeated season tonight. The last match to look out for is Portales and Eunice. The Rams stay at home tonight for this doubleheader after defeating Moriarty last night. As for the Cardinals, they last defeated Dexter on Tuesday and look to continue this momentum. Tonight, the first game of their doubleheader is underway, but their second game starts at 6:30. There's plenty of good weather and better time for baseball tonight. Moving to the NBA, New York Mayor Eric Adams will lift the city's COVID-19 vaccine mandate on athletes Thursday, paving the way for Brooklyn Nets star Kyrie Irving to play at Barclays Center on Sunday. The Nets are currently 8th place in the Eastern Conference and subject to the play-in tournament that begins April 12th. They would get Irving back, who has been kept out of their home games for 35 this season. Irving turned 30 on Wednesday and is averaging 28 points in 20 games this season. In those 20 games played by Irving, the Nets have won 8 of those games, including 4 of the last 6 games. The Nets are hopeful that Irving back in the lineup on a more consistent basis will help give the Nets more wins as they get closer to the playoffs. Now, before we head into a break, let's take a look at the live score update from the Greyhounds matchup against the St. Mary's Rattlers. The Hounds lost their first game of the doubleheader 4-3. Lizette Urquidez led the Hounds, hitting 2-run homer into left field in the first inning, but it would not be enough as the Rattlers, with 3 runs of their own in the first inning and 1 in the fourth. Their second match is underway right now, so tune into the Lone Star Conference Digital Network for the second match of the evening. The Hounds will not have much time to rest as they'll be back on the road to take on St. Edwards in another doubleheader on Monday morning. Well, that is all the sports I have for you tonight, but be tuned in because we'll be back at the desk with Olayinka, Aidan, and Payton after this, so don't change the channel.
Lastly tonight, a regular day was turned upside down at some small Southern California businesses when a mountain lion on the loose caused a stir. Jeremy Rott has today's take a look at this.
It can only be described as wild, shocking close encounters with a mountain lion at bustling businesses in Irvine, California. It was spotted evading officials outside a hair salon.
Never had such a wild encounter like that, so it was very scary.
And outside this coffee shop.
Kind of see like the paw prints right there.
Then came the most dramatic part. After an attempt to tranquilize the predator failed, it reportedly entered this technology company's front door, walking right past employee Mark Waterhouse.
A gentleman from next door said, "Oh, there's a lion on the loose." I said, "Oh, it's just gone through to the lab."
Officials were finally able to corner and safely sedate the lion. They then took it to a local animal care center, bringing to an end the surreal SoCal safari. And now for the tooth. And nothing but the tooth. A giant woolly mammal tooth, that is. That's exactly what was found at a construction site in Sheldon, Iowa. The tooth is nearly a foot long, weighs over 11 pounds, and is suspected to be more than 20,000 years old. Finally, a 20th century treasure is soon expected to nab a staggering sum at auction. Christie's expects Andy Warhol's famous shot sage blue Marilyn could nab around $200 million when it hits the block in May. They describe the work as the absolute pinnacle of American pop. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Well, I think that was scary, looking at the mountain lion story. But then, just before we go, Payton, what's up with the weather?
I think it's going to be pretty warm for the rest of our weekend. Let's take one last look at that.
Sure.
So for Santa Rosa, it's looking partly cloudy all weekend. Won't be too bad, though. 75 today, 81 tomorrow, and 84 on Sunday. It's going to be a nice day to go outside and enjoy a nice soccer or baseball game with your friends. Let's look at Carlsbad. Might be a good weekend to go to the caverns this weekend. We got no clouds today on Friday. 85 on Saturday, partly cloudy, and Sunday, 90 degrees. It's going to be a great day to spend outside. Roswell, New Mexico, 81 today and no cloud cover there either. Saturday, we're looking at 85 degrees and partly cloudy, and I wouldn't want to say a lot of clouds there. And 89 on Sunday, it'll be a great day to go outside there too. Make sure you use some sunscreen, however. And the home of Eastern New Mexico, let's see how things are looking. 85 on Saturday and 90 on Sunday with minor cloud cover here as well. It's going to be a nice day.
You know, I've never been a big fan of like too much sun. I like a little bit of breeze, and that's what I'm looking forward to a bit next week on our more windy days here. I'm gonna be really looking forward to that.
It'll be a great day to go longboarding.
Definitely, and 90 for Sunday. That's interesting. Well, that is all the news we have for you tonight. Thank you very much for watching News 3 New Mexico.
Have a great night.